In what's a nice change of pace for earnings we've covered so far this earnings season, Reddit has seen a massively positive response to their third quarter results. The company saw their stock soar over 24% in after-hours trading, crossing the $100 line following the release of their results. I've covered Reddit in the past and made a bull call back when the stock was $60 over at my SmallCapSteve channel on YouTube, or you can check out my Substack or follow me on Twitter. Now, what's my take on these earnings? What's causing the run, and why should we care? Let's dive in. Reddit shockingly beat analyst estimates on every single item, something that hasn't been common this earnings season. For the quarter, the company posted top-line revenue of $384 million versus estimates of $313 million. Net income of nearly $30 million versus estimates of a $14 million loss, and adjusted EBITDA of $94 million versus estimates of $59 million. They also had daily active users of 97.2 million versus estimates of 96.4 million. So they didn't necessarily smash those estimates, but they had average revenue per user of $3.58 versus estimates of $3.22 per user. Simply put, they absolutely crushed expectations. But let's dig just a hair deeper into things. Reddit's revenue of $348.4 million represents a 68% increase on a year-over-year basis, which can be broken down into ad revenue of $315 million, which grew 56% year-over-year, and other revenue of $33.2 million, which grew 547% year-over-year. Now, other revenue also includes that licensing and data section that I talked about when I originally made my bull call that I think is only going to grow from here as these large language models are going to need more just daily conversation data that they can use to figure out how people talk, what information's out there, and all that data is going to mean money for Reddit. Meanwhile, the gross margins improved by 280 basis points to 90.1%, while net income grew from a loss of $7.4 million in Q3 2023 to positive net income of $29.9 million. Adjusted EBITDA jumped from a loss of $6.9 million last year to positive $94.1 million. Cash flow also improved, with operating cash flow climbing by $79.3 million to $71.6 million, while free cash flow hit $70.3 million compared to negative $11.6 million in the year-ago period. The strong improvement in results can be attributed to a rise in the daily active unique visits, which increased by 47% in the third quarter to 97.2 million. Management also stated that there were several days during the quarter where they exceeded 100 million daily active uniques, which is a new achievement for the social media company. Growth appears to be quite diversified across geographic regions too, with US daily uniques growing by 51%, while international daily uniques grew by 44%, with certain in-focused countries, which include France, India, and the Philippines, growing by 53%. The growth in use is not just from terminally online users either, with weekly active uniques averaging 364.5 million in the quarter, which increased by 53% on a year-over-year basis. And for those of you that get excited by the terms AI and machine learning, the company is attributing a portion of this growth to LLM-driven machine translation, which is said to be showing early traction in breaking the language barrier and driving millions of incremental users to the platform. Guys, it's simple. More people are using the platform, and Reddit is making bank off the back of that simple fact. And then there's also the guidance that Reddit provided, which, by the way, also beat analyst estimates. Revenue in the fourth quarter is expected to be in the range of $385 to $400 million. Analysts had expected guidance of $356 million based on the Bloomberg consensus. Based on a midpoint of $392 million, that would represent growth of 57% on a year-over-year basis and 13% on a quarter-over-quarter basis. Adjusted EBITDA, meanwhile, has been guided to come in between $110 million to $125 million, versus an original estimate on Bloomberg consensus of $87 million. On a quarter-over-quarter basis, the midpoint of that estimate would place them at a 25% improvement in adjusted EBITDA expectations. All this positivity has ultimately led to a euphoric response. Now, as we can see on Twitter, all the traders, of course, are claiming that they called this in advance. from Trader Murr, who seems to be calling it on technicals, along with Trade with Shan, who was bullish before today, to PB Alerts, which seems to be some sort of penny stock account. And we got Jimmy Carter, who was calling for the great earnings back in May. Of course, nobody's going to gloat more than this guy right here, who I, again, at the beginning of the video said that I called it, and you can go back and watch my YouTube video from months ago, or the Substack that I wrote of why I think Reddit is a fantastic buy. And then we've got the investors, meanwhile, who are ecstatic. Many are expressing their disappointment in not buying in earlier despite being married to the platform, while others are working to compare the Reddit IPO to Meta's massively successful performance in the stock. So let's wrap it up. It was good to see at least one name have a win on Tuesday, because PayPal and AMD certainly didn't. And it was also great to see that I was behind the name of those that actually moved. Guys, I am a social media user myself, and I gotta say, I used to love Twitter. I thought Twitter was great. And then Elon bought it, and he started to tweak the algorithm, and now I don't enjoy Twitter as much. I do love Reddit. I see a lot more users on there. I see a lot more engagement. And I have to say that I think that Elon buying Twitter and messing around with it has really been to Reddit's success. Of course, we've got names like Substack and Mastodon, Patreon, Blue Sky. I can go on, Truth Social. They've all, had built up a little bit of a community. But the truth is, for me, as a 40-year-old adult who likes to read about stocks, and I'm a bit of a degenerate, I like Reddit. I used to love Twitter. I spend less time on Twitter now, and I spend more time on Reddit. I see it in the engagement. I also have ran companies where we run ads, and right now we have a hard time running ads on Reddit. And I think that there's a lot of room to grow this advertising platform. I also can get into Facebook. Facebook used to be fantastic. I used to spend a ton of time on there 10 years ago, and then they jammed it with ads, and now it's, I know some people who use Facebook Marketplace, but when I go on Facebook, I don't see people I know posting a bunch of pictures anymore. They might be doing that on Instagram. They might be posting their videos on TikTok, but it's not like it used to be, because as these things evolve, they go in cycles. I think right now is Reddit's turn, and at a $13 billion valuation, to be able to invest in the platform that just has so much stickiness and so much active engagement, I think is a slam dunk. At the end of the day, what matters is having people's attention, and then you try to monetize it. And Reddit has people's attention. At a $13 billion market cap, I don't see how you can go wrong owning this thing. I think it's a fantastic risk reward. I don't think it's done at $100. We saw it with Facebook. We've seen it with other social media platforms. I'm not saying that Reddit's going to ever get to the size of the Magnificent Seven stocks or anything, but I think that there is significant meat still on the bone here, and there's a real opportunity to continue to monetize all these users, and we're going to see that. Of course, in 5 or 6 years, Reddit's probably not going to be that good anymore. But that doesn't matter. As an investor, I want to be early and watch them monetize all these users and ruin their experience and make money off that. So, guys, right now, I think that Reddit is they're still a fantastic buy, even though they're probably going to be above $100 tomorrow. And I'm going to continue to look at their earnings and follow them on this channel. And hopefully, if you guys went long after I did my original video on it, you guys are up. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comment section what you think. Are you long? Are you thinking about going long? Do you hate the stock? Do you hate the platform? Let me know what you think, guys. Thanks for watching.